How's it going, everyone? We got Netflix hit an all-time high. It's certainly a 52-week high today during trading. It is Monday, September, what is the name of the day? September 7th, and I'm actually doing an investing video today. We're going to talk about Netflix. The reason we're going to talk a lot about Netflix is if you've watched my channel, maybe you haven't watched my channel, or maybe you have not seen any of my videos. But basically, I am an early Netflix investor, not necessarily before they went public, but I did buy some shares back in as early as 2011. But Netflix actually went lower in 2012 than they did in 2011. So if you actually look at it, I picked Netflix shares up my earliest positions. I shouldn't say my earliest, the lowest price positions at about a $3 billion market cap, and they hit about a $270 billion market cap today. So if you actually do that math, I was able to lock in I shouldn't say lock in, but I have a watermark of a 90x return on the earliest share purchases of Netflix. Have I hung on to every single share I purchased of Netflix? No, I haven't. But I have hung on to a lot of Netflix. I still have a lot of Netflix. I've purchased a lot of Netflix over the years, and I did hang on to some of those early shares that were purchased back then in really in the fall of 2012, right? So we're going to go into Netflix. Actually, I went in and in case you guys, again, in case you haven't watched my channel, if you haven't seen any of my videos, I came out with a basket of 50 plus stocks. It's in between 50 and 75 now, which I call the turbo growth tech stocks that I like. I put them in a basket, and from that, I've actually developed a top 10, which is really has one bonus. It's really 11, but the top 10 stocks that could 10x in the next 1 to 10 years. Netflix is not in that list in terms of that could 10x because, well, I mean, quite frankly, it's almost 300 billion now, so it's a pretty high market cap. But it certainly is in the top stocks that I like. But basically, if you have seen some of my videos, I take you all into what I call the handy dandy spreadsheet. I started, putting together a spreadsheet when I would analyze stocks back in, I mean, I've been investing forever since literally 1989, but I went ahead and put these stocks into a spreadsheet. So I call it the handy dandy spreadsheet, and I actually did put Netflix back into the handy dandy spreadsheet back in 2012, and I broke that out. The one I use now is still pretty simple, but certainly has been optimized since that time, which is 12 years ago. But I'm going to take you into the handy dandy spreadsheet from when I took a look at Netflix back in 2012, which actually had 2011 numbers for Netflix. And then we'll take a look at them on tip ranks. Tip ranks is what I use to kind of formulate my basket of 50 to 75 stocks. And then we'll also take a look at Netflix on Yahoo Finance. So so it's just going to give you a little bit of history of my 90x return on my Netflix shares. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Do a little reminiscing on the old handy dandy spreadsheet from 2012. Okay. So this is the current one. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. We got Netflix back in. This is 2012. So as you can see, what I do, everybody, is I take a look at annual numbers, right? So I look at annual revenues, I look at annual gross profits, I look at what their gross profit margin is, and back then I really just looked at what their market cap to gross profit was, just because I wanted to find a way to kind of really do some sort of at least relative valuation on all these companies, whether it's a Netflix at the time, which was a $3 billion 200 million market cap, or something crazy like like an Apple or a Microsoft, which were actually in the hundreds of billions back then. Take a look at Salesforce.com, which is CRM. Where's that? That's actually, I think it had about a $20 billion valuation. Sorry, right there, as you can see it, they actually had lower revenues than Netflix at the time at 2.2 billion, and then they had a market cap of 21 billion. So Salesforce is actually 10x since then. Definitely, I'll take 90x over 10x though, right? So as you can see, what's very interesting is their 2011 revenues were the same as their market cap. So their 2011 revenues were 3.2 billion, and then their market cap was 3.2 billion. They've held very steady with their their gross profit margin at 36%. It's still similar to what it is now. I didn't really look back then at year-over-year revenue growth, which is a very, very important factor that I look at now. So if we go ahead and let's take a look at the modern day, we're going to take a look at the modern day handy-dandy spreadsheet to see where Netflix is. All right, there we go. So the price is actually not not 550 anymore. It's today's high was 613. That's the actual price, and then their market cap high today was about at 270. So if I got it, and again, we're talking about approximately, right? I got in at approximately 3 billion, and today it had an actual range. It closed a little bit lower than 270 billion. It had an approximate market cap of 270 billion. So right there, pretty much hit my 90x return, which I've never had. Netflix is certainly my biggest winner of all my investments, of any, even a private company investment, which I hadn't even come close to, achieving what I had seen as really potential in some private market investments. But basically, so there it is, 270 billion. Recent 12 months revenue, that's actually the end of 2020. They did, just a tick under 25 billion. Netflix is projecting to do 30 billion in 2021. And actually, if you look at their trailing 12 months on Yahoo Finance, which I can show you that, I think they're like a tick above 27 on their trailing 12 months revenue. And then right there, pretty much holding that steady at that 38% gross profit margin, 24% year-over-year revenue growth. And, relative to some others, like Tesla's, crazy overpriced, and there's some other stocks that are overpriced. Netflix has got a 27.7 in terms of looking at their annual gross profits, most recently reported fiscal year-end gross profits, of 9.7 billion, and then dividing that into their market cap. So there you go. So if you take a look at it, we'll go into, as you can see, Yahoo Finance right here. 606 they closed at. Today they kind of had an intraday high of about 613, and then an intraday kind of market cap high of about 270 billion. So that's why I wanted to do the video on my Netflix and my 90x return on my Netflix right there. So, and if you take a look at everybody, this is, I have all my stocks in a basket here on tip ranks. And if you do that, we take a look at Netflix right here. And again, I started this list in early June of this year of 2021. So, around maybe just a little bit less than 3 months ago, you can see they're up about 22.6% since early June. Definitely a strong performer there with Netflix. So there you go. So that is, my story with Netflix. Do I think Netflix could 10x from here? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not possible, because you figure at a $270 billion market cap, that'd be 2.7 trillion. That'd be the biggest company in the world. But the fact is that, I think it's more likely than not that Netflix will go into every country in the world. I think it's more likely than not that Netflix will continue to grow. If they can, sustain that continued growth of 25%, that means, in approximately 4 years from now, they'll double their revenue. So you figure, let's just say at 30 billion, so then they'll be at 60 billion. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if Netflix could 10x in the next 1 to 10 years. I do think it's a great investment. I'm going to stick with my investment. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be adding to my Netflix investment, because as you can see, I've had a great run. Here I am at 90x, and I'm certainly looking forward to, maybe the reality that it might be my first, 100x, even my only 100x. You never know, because here we are, it's September 2021, and we've been living in a bull market since March of 2009. We're basically 12 and a half years of a bull market, which has been, a great run. So let me know what your best investment picks are. Everybody, if you like this, if you like hearing about the top turbo growth tech stocks that could 10x in the next 1 to 10 years, go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. If you like this video, if you like seeing my 90x return on Netflix, give me a like. If you want me to check out a stock, I've got a 6-point scoring system that I run growth tech stocks into, so that I can determine if it's going to be a 10x in the next 1 to 10 years. Go ahead and put that in the comment section. I will take a look at that stock for you. Otherwise, everybody, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and education purposes. I do have a background in investing, though. My first job out of college was Merrill Lynch. I also did investment banking after that, and then I worked for Sun America here in Los Angeles for 3 years. I've got 5 10x return investments to my track record. Netflix, one of them here at 90x. And then I bought Apple back in June of 2007 before the first iPhone came out. And we're looking at 30, it might actually be higher now, but it was about 33x, a couple months ago when looking at their 52-week high, and 3 other 10x returns. If you guys like this, like I said, go ahead and give me a like, consider subscribing. And if you want me to take a look at a stock, put it in the comments area below. I'm also going to put some links in. I came out with a investing and credit blueprint where you can go check those links out if you want to check those out. Okay? Thank you very much. Have a great week.